Welcome back to Boom and Bust. I'm your host, Tony Clement, here at the News Forum, and we have with us Dave Earle. He is the president and CEO of the British Columbia Trucking Association, as well as Angela Splinter. She is the CEO of Trucking HR Canada. Dave, we were just having this discussion before the break about some of the challenges of recruiting and retaining the professionals that are needed, not just drivers, but sort of all along the logistics chain, also IT and so on. Maybe comment on where's the competition coming from? Why is it so hard to recruit and retain the right people?
Well, and I think Angela said it well. We are in that same place that I think every profession is. When we talk about IT and IT professionals, larger fleets have a need for in-house IT support personnel. And this is more than just network technicians. These are people to actually code and design and develop systems for logistics tracking of units, planning of movement, and being very as efficient as possible. These can be postgraduate levels of study, in terms of what people need to bring to the table. And with that, of course, we are in competition with traditional tech industries. When we talk about mechanics and technicians, for many, many years, the positions of truck technician or heavy-duty mechanic have been well subscribed, and they continue to be well subscribed. But what we're seeing is this move, of course, with demographic shifts of individuals and people leaving the industry. And we just don't have the intake of younger people in the numbers we need coming in. On top of that, you layer in the changes in technology and what we're going to have to do to adapt, upskill, and reskill people in the industry. Because to be honest, it's very different working on a hydrogen fuel cell than it is working on a traditional internal combustion engine. So all of these challenges are in front of us. We're in a competition with every single other industry, and we face the same struggles.
Angela, Dave raises a really interesting point. Probably a lot of my audience is unfamiliar with it, but the trucking now is a highly sophisticated logistical operation. It's not just you give a trucker a destination and he or she rolls out and makes it to the destination whenever they make it. All along the way, there are goalposts and tracking to make sure that everything runs according to plan. Do you care to comment on that yourself?
Absolutely. The skills are always changing, and I would say it's an exciting time. We can use this to our advantage. This is a dynamic industry to be working in, and we're getting greener every day, and we really want to just showcase that. And we are on top of those skills requirements. We do a lot of work in that area, just making sure, right, the curriculum will match what employers are looking for. It's an ongoing work that we're doing, but again, it's an exciting time for people to consider working in our sector.
Yeah, Dave, would you care to comment? You did mention this in your last answer, but trucking is also an industry that is affected by net zero policies and decarbonization. Tell the audience a little bit about that.
Sure. So in British Columbia in particular, we've been working very diligently to find ways to decarbonize the industry. Some of the work we do is really utilizing more of what we have. We've been supporting the deployment of auxiliary power units, things as unexciting as single wide base tires. So instead of a dually system, you have a single tire system. In some applications that can help reduce GHG emissions. But that bigger, longer picture goal is that alternate fuels. And we're doing lots of pilot work, research work, working with proponents. Our carriers are feeding data into proponents. Everybody looking for that next solution. We look at battery electric vehicles as being able to run in the local courier pickup last mile world. And as we look out a bit further, hydrogen fuel cell vehicles, to be precise, hydrogen fuel cell hybrid vehicles have great potential in terms of moving longer distances. It is an extremely exciting time to be in the industry because this is very much piloting, trying, striving for change and innovation. It's just been a really, really interesting journey.
We've got about 30 seconds before the break, Dave. When do you see the rollout of some of this new tech, or is it happening already?
It's well in the smaller world. So when you think about that classic 5-ton world, single axle, smaller trucks, we're seeing those already. We're seeing those deployed in battery electric models. The bigger stuff hasn't come into play yet. We don't have any Class 8s on the highway in British Columbia yet. That's the big traditional tractor trailer model. And hydrogen fuel cell, there's a really exciting pilot project going on now in Alberta. Running from the hydrogen hub at Edmonton International Airport to Calgary return. And this is all set to learn and to try and see how we move Canadian loads in Canadian weather.
We're going to return with our guests after this break. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.